Zoom's lazy. Don't want to come down. What were you saying, Mark? What do you mean by that? Explain it. They're all on.
He thought they were sausage rolls.
Sorry, David.
Oh, that was proper.
Okay. The next one.
Yeah, Dave, we'll come to you shortly.
Your device.
Ian.
Yeah. Dimo, if we can start with you. Great news, sort of confirmed last night. How good is it for you just to have that resolved? Largely so we're not going to ask any questions about retirement.
Yeah, delighted to get it agreed and signed off. Wasn't a difficult conversation, but it was always going to be left to the end of the season because there was so much at stake in the last couple of months for us. So yeah, easy conversation, easy decision, and looking forward to the new season.
Was there any question in your mind that you might be leaving Rangers or something?
Not really, to be honest. Obviously, January maybe things looked a little bit different with injuries, and then wasn't playing so much. But thankfully, got to myself in a good place towards the end of the season. Had an impact in the team as well, which I always wanted to do, and I still feel I've got a lot to give. And delighted the club were in the same thought process as me.
Coming into this game, we know the Nations League's not always been Northern Ireland's favourite tournament. It's still not won a game. Now that it's League C, how different do you feel this campaign will be?
I think the mindset in general's just shifted really, because I think whenever Nations League started, we didn't really know what it was all about, the benefits of it. But we've obviously seen that with different nations in terms of the playoff spot being up for grabs, and so I think we're coming into this campaign now, the start of the Nations League, with real high expectations of ourselves, and obviously a lot of younger lads we're going to have to integrate. We've got 4 games in 10 days, another challenge for us, but we certainly want to get off to a good start against Greece, and then hopefully build upon that.
You mentioned those younger guys, but there's now kind of both ends, because we've got Carlatti back in. How's that balance of the squad? Because yourself, now McGinn, Carlatti guys have been around a long time, and the fresh faces coming in. How do you find the balance?
Yeah, I think you always need that within a squad, to have experienced heads around it. Kyle's obviously coming in again. He's missed some games, but he's coming in hungry as ever, and we all know what he's done for the country over the years. He's been excellent for us, and it's just good to see him back playing at Kilmarnock, playing well, scoring goals off the back of promotion as well. So he's in a good place, and he'll want to go and show everybody what he's about at this level once again. So it's great to have him. The younger players as well, they're going to be desperate for a chance. We've all been there ourselves, so you want to come in, show the manager what you can do. There's a very, very good opportunity for him to get a chance to play and get minutes on the pitch over these 4 games. So they'll just want to grasp it with both hands.
Thanks very much. Ian, if I can ask you a couple. You mentioned those younger players. We're going to, I presume, see some debuts over the next 2 weeks. Is there potential for some of those to be tomorrow night?
There's a chance. Of course there is. They're here to play. They're not come here to make the numbers up. They've not come here to just be the training cannon fodder, if you like. For me, they're here because they're good players, and we see a future for them. And we've always used this tournament as a chance to give them experience. We still see it as a tournament like that, but we also know the benefits of winning games and making sure that we're going for top spot. So it's trying to find that balance. I'll always try and bring younger players, or try and bring newer players into a squad to try and give them that experience, because for us it's a bigger picture, qualifying for Euros and World Cups. So that's where we are for this.
Yeah. We've spoken before about challenge of triple headers and so on. This quadruple headers obviously been something you've been planning for a long time. Now that it's here, how do you actually go about is it going to be a case of strongest team every day, or are you always thinking about the next game and how you can't?
I haven't looked too far ahead from this game, and I know it's a stock answer. I know it's something that managers reel out, but you don't know what sort of state we'll be once we've played this game, once we've travelled to Cyprus. Do we bring fresh legs in? Do we need to change it around? I'm sure we will, but I've not planned a team for Cyprus and a team for Kosovo at this moment in time. So we've gone for this one first of all. Certainly going to need to make changes throughout. That's something that everyone's got to be switched on to and be ready for. And when called upon, because there's a few lads in the team already, or in the squad that's happened to. I think Trey Hume and Conor Bradley didn't expect to get on the pitch when they did, but they've now got caps under their belts, and for any of those ones that have come in, whether it's Shea Charles, Brodie Spencer, that have shown up really well, Conor McMenamin, that they're all in the mix for it.
And just on that note,
No, obviously you see Caelan Boyd-Munce didn't train, Connor Washington didn't train, and JT, was a fleeting appearance really. So, with Caelan and JT, that they won't be involved for tomorrow. But we knew we were carrying knocks coming into this as well. So we'll just make sure that they're in contention for game 2, 3, and 4. But what we have got is a hungry group of players, like Dave has already said. The lads have come in and not gone under the radar. They want to be noticed, and that's what I've asked of them.
Ian, it's sort of maybe been a while since, don't have come into an international window with sort of as many games that are, if they're winnable, if that's okay to say. I mean, is that something that you like, or is that going out of pressure, or?
We've all got to deal with that. There are going to be games where outside influences, the noise that goes on. People will say you're favourites for games, and you should be winning games. I think players and coaches, managers, we all deal with that from where we've come, and you learn to deal with that experience as well. So let the noise go on outside the group. Let people speculate what you should and shouldn't do. Concentrate on what you're doing within the group, and keep it within that. If you can take care of the processes that get you into a position of winning games, I think we've done that in the main. I can only think of 2 or 3 periods of games and certain games, certainly Norway here, was a case that underprepared coming through from COVID, but we weren't at the races, and you get hurt. So learn from those experiences, and I think we've, in recent games, even the ones we haven't won, we've created plenty of chances, plenty of opportunities going forward, and hopefully we see that in these 4 games.
You talked, I think it was on Friday, maybe about that balance between these games sort of loving players, giving players experience, and that balance between obviously games that are there to go and win.
Yep.
As you get closer to sort of game day, does that sort of competitive element of it almost sort of take over a little bit?
Well, I think I'm a winner. I think everyone's a winner who's in this dressing room as well with us. Nobody likes losing games of football. I'm desperate as anybody to, say that we've won a game in the Nations League, so that you go on to something different to talk about. It is. It's things like that, and nobody likes to be criticised. Nobody likes to you pick holes in certain areas. That's your job. That's everyone's job. For us, get the processes right to win games of football. Give yourself chances to win by creating those chances, and it's on the night. Sometimes it goes for you, sometimes it doesn't.
Would you have a message for the fans ahead of this sort of block of games?
Yeah, because I think the fans have always played their part, and I know it's the night games that are really special. Under the lights, and there's something on the game. There's probably a different feel tomorrow to the Nations League, but we need to get off to a good start. We want to get off to a good start. So for supporters to be able to get out of their seats, many might be looking forward to their summer and supporting the women's team as well. But first of all, we've got some games, and hopefully they can have something to shout about. I think the onus is on us to give them something to go and cheer and get out of their seats and excite them. And with whether it's a mixture of the senior players and the young players that are coming in looking to make an impact. I think that the Northern Ireland fans have really, they take to their own, don't they? They take to the young lads coming in and playing. They give them that backing, and no, it's exciting times for me. There is a bigger picture, as we already said, but these games are exciting to me.
You maybe touched on it with Ian there, but I'm sure you maybe want to share with us. But do you look at these 4 games and in your own head have a points target?
12.
Fair answer.
What? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I think we've got a squad that can go and win all 3 games. Now, you're also playing against opposition that are also targeting 12 points. So, it's not. I don't think it's a bad thing for me to be demanding 4 wins if we can.
Cheers, Ian. Steve, maybe just ask yourself. Again, just not with Ian there. We probably melted your head, I'm sure, with all the questions we were throwing at you in November and March. But is it a bit of a weight off your shoulders now coming into these games and just being able to play, or was it easy for you to block up?
Yeah, in all honesty, I was always pretty relaxed about the situation, and I think as you get older, you just try and enjoy the moment and get as much out of it as possible at that time, and then certainly you see how you feel at the end of the season, really, and that's kind of been the way it's been for the last couple of years. And in terms of that there, and as long as I feel I can still contribute at club and international level, then I'm more than delighted to be doing both.
Ian was saying there years and years, but you must still get it big time whenever you step in this.
Yeah, of course. It's like a drug for us as professionals. You train all week, you work hard, you make the sacrifice to get out on the pitch and test yourself against other teams with the ambition of going out and winning games of football and achieving something together. And if you lose that there, then it's probably time to call it a day.
Yeah, and the boys are just on the young players. I mean, there's still a big, massive role for all the senior lads to play in all that.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen that over the years, how much the experience of the team counts, and of course it's going to take a period of time for younger players to get that, but ultimately over the last couple of years we've seen that happen. People like Ali McCann come into the team and then be a regular since he's came in, and that'll happen to younger players coming through. It's a natural progression, but it's great to see so many of them, and even the quality they've shown in the last couple of days has been really good, so it's promising for the future. Thank you.
Ian, can I just ask you about Kyle Lafferty? How, when you've been a player who still wants to play but not involved, you have to manage them a little bit more than you possibly would to the players that are in the squad.
Kyle's always been great in and around people. Whether he starts on the bench, whether he starts a game, whether he's not involved, he is someone that obviously everyone sees a different side to him as well, the fun game side. But when it's match day, when it's time to train, he's switched on. And he helps the young ones. He's helping those strikers in and around him as well. He's talking to them. You probably won't see stuff like that, but he's as motivated to play his part, and whether that's off the pitch or from a different angle to what he was 7-8 years ago, and he realises that. And it was great to see him come back to Kilmarnock, be settled again, playing his football, playing at home, and it gets the best out of him. And he's always loved playing for his country. One of the biggest decisions I've ever had to make, to leave him out of a squad and pick the phone up and speak to him, give him reasons why, but he's responded brilliant. And I think it wouldn't be wrong of me to say he's probably the most natural finisher from the strikers. And he'll get his chances.
But you have to put that groundwork in. How important is that to put that groundwork into his playing? You're not in the squad this time, and this is the reason. Is that an important sort of role for you as a manager?
Of course it is, yeah. Communication's massive, and I try and involve the players as much as possible, because I think I've always said they're the ones on the pitch. They can see things that we can't from the sideline at times. They've got to go and make decisions without a coach's help or a manager's help. So the more that we involve them in decision making, the better, I think, because it's not my team, as I've said, it's everyone's team. We all go and achieve it as a group, and so they play their part. And you go back to Kyle, he's someone that wants to play a big. He wants to go to a Euros again, and as we all do. And the senior players are still as motivated as anybody, because they want to experience what they did in France. And I think Germany will be even better as an experience. So we all want to be there.
And just very quickly then on the approach to these games, because obviously Northern Ireland are top seed, but the teams are supposed to be balanced, League C and all that sort of stuff. But you're not playing a League A team, so does that change your approach to games? It's not maybe slightly more defensive or digging in for a draw here? Is it I'm going to say you can't cope, but is it a lot more offensive than it possibly would be if you were taking on a team from League A?
Well, I think probably people hopefully seen over the last couple of years now that whether you're coming up against an Italy, a Switzerland or a Lithuania, we've tried to attack it in pretty much the same way. I want our players to be forward thinking. I want us to create chances, whether it comes from wide areas, whether it comes through the middle, and I think we've always tried to be on the front foot, so that'll be no different. I'm not giving any secrets away there. It'll be no different, and certainly our home campaign in the World Cup there. Nige, get out.
It's not me. I swear it's not me.
In the World Cup campaign, to not concede a goal here at home, that wasn't done by parking 10, 11 men behind the ball. And that's that side of it we have to take care of, but we also want to be creating chances and forward thinking, and there'll be no different.
And Stephen, just one question for you. You've got Kyle back. Is it does that mean you've got a little bit of support? Do you sort of elder people around you to sort of play cards with, as opposed to get on the PlayStation?
It's not an old age holiday camp, that's for sure. But yeah, no, it's nice to have Kyle. Obviously, I've known him for a long time, and we're very close. So it's always good to see him.
And what about kind of getting those younger kids into? Do you have to spend a bit of time on down FIFA with them or whatever kids do these days?
Yeah, as you say, the younger lads are usually gamers, so they're usually in the room doing that there. But listen, it's a good period of time for us to be together, a couple of weeks together, get to know each other, help them integrate, and it'll be a good experience for them moving forward.
I've actually seen some of the young ones playing cards, to be honest.
No, didn't like you say that there, in case that's a culture we're promoting, but
No, they're playing for matchsticks.
Okay.
If I just ask you, I've already asked you for the programme, but for the sake of this, we'll ask again. The last game here against Greece obviously was a massive night for everybody. You just give us your recollections of that night and what it meant.
Really special night, memorable, a lot of emotions going into the game. Just the pressure we've sort of put on ourselves, probably more so than anything, because we knew what it would mean for ourselves as a group and our families, the nation. So it was huge going into it, and then obviously just for the game to go the way it did in terms of performance and result, and actually be able to soak it in a little bit in the latter stages of the game. It was really special and ultimately led to an experience of a lifetime in France. So yeah, more of the same would be nice, although it's not as much on it this time.
Would that rank as one of your best moments in your career?
It has to, yeah, without doubt, no doubt about it. To achieve something like that as a group together, and that's what we're all striving for again.
40-yard header.
Well, that's probably not going to repeat it, but
You seem perfect playing games at this time of the year. Obviously the IFA have no say in that, but is it frustrating for you? Because I know obviously we spoke about it last week, the pressures and put on players and on their bodies and everything. Is it frustrating that you have to play at this time of year?
I think, yeah, listen, the football calendar just seems to be more and more games and going longer and longer, and it is important that players get a break. But I think for us as individuals, you take it on your own merit, because everybody's at different stages. Everybody feels they maybe need different things at this point in time. Obviously I missed a bit of football between sort of December and February, between games and different things and the injuries that I had. So I was a bit sad to see that the season finished when it did. So I'm just looking forward to the games, and everybody will have their own reasons and for wanting to be here. And ultimately, it's to pull on the shirt and hopefully do well for Northern Ireland.
Just for yourself, Ian. Probably some of the best performances that we've seen from Northern Ireland in recent years have been in the Nations League, even though the results probably didn't show that. Do you feel like you're due a bit of luck sometimes soon?
I think you always need a little bit. You know, it might be a referee's decision, and you have to go along with them. You can't contest them. You can't do anything about them. It's just how you react to that. You know, I talk to the players a lot about dealing with disappointment. How do we deal with it? Do you feel sorry for yourself, or do you get yourself off the canvas, or do you go again? You give a ball away. So what? Get on with it and deal with it in the moment, and then we can discuss it afterwards. But it's stuff like that. Yeah, you want a little bit of luck going your way. The bounce of a ball comes off the back of somebody's head or whatever in the box, and yeah, maybe I tend to think you make your own luck as well. So it's put yourself in them positions more often than not to get those little bits of fortune, and it will fall your way.
Thanks, Stephen. Just on June games or summer games, think back to Estonia away, Belarus away, Azerbaijan away, all Orleans, and a tough time of the year for players. Has that been kind of? Is it different to play in June? And how do you prepare differently for that? Because I was thinking of the wins you've had in that month, and it seems to be this team has handled it pretty well.
I think the preparation's always the same as soon as you meet up, but the probably one issue you have is people finish the seasons at different stages, so you're coming into camp and people are at different stages, although they're keeping themselves ready and doing the right things to be ready to come into the camp. So that's probably the one thing, and I think a lot of people make too much of the June games, because ultimately when you step over that line in the pitch, you want to go out and win the games. So although we haven't had the results in the National League, as you said, Mark, a lot of the performances have been good and merit it more than what we got from them, but hopefully that'll change over these 4 games.
I just wondered any update on maybe Stuart Dallas coming around the squad for this camp to be around the place, or is that likely to be maybe later in the
No, he did. The last text I had with him, conversation, that it was whether he could get through for tomorrow night. We'll see. It's I've not been on him constantly. I think he's had enough messages, and but the conversations we have had is about supporting him, being around the group whenever he needs to be. I said about Leeds that they're in with that as well, because they know the importance of a freshness to him, and it's a long road for him. We know that, so we're here. We're supporting him. We want him to get well and fit again. Before what's being predicted, and if anyone is, he'll battle through that. So no, just as and when we feel as though he needs to be chief cheerleader, with his pom-poms. That'll be him. He won't thank me for that, will he? He won't thank me for that.
Better than him to have a Speedos.
Actually, on Stuart Dallas, Stephen, how difficult was it to see one of your kind of close teammates over the years suffer something like that? And did you watch the game live? Did you?
Yeah, I was watching the game at the time, and obviously straight away, it didn't look too good. I don't think we expected it to be what it was, but listen, unfortunately, that's what's happened, and he just has to deal with it. But it's just, as Ian said, we just have to give him as much support as possible and be there for him, and that's certainly what he has. He's got a lot of good people around him and family as well. And if there's one person in terms of his character that'll come back from this as soon as possible, then it's Stu. So hopefully, it does come across, and we get to see him and get a wee catch up, and it'll be always nice to see him.
And a final one, just on, I guess, Ian, his versatility is so important to any manager, particularly in the full-back, wing-back areas, but also in central midfield. Is this a chance for some others to show that they can do that thing, like maybe Conor Bradley, Trey Hume? Does it just bring a chance for someone else?
Yeah, those types of players are worth the weight in gold, especially in these types of games, with the number of games as well. And you know who can nail down where Stuart Dallas plays, because he can cover so many areas. There are players and there are younger players that can play in various positions as well, and that's again exciting for me to find out and see and how they react to it. And certainly the few days in training we've had, one or two, you put them in situations where they might feel uncomfortable, you wouldn't have known it. So yeah, those players are important that can fill certain areas, and Stu will be missed in that respect.
Dave, to bring us home.
Afternoon, gents. You okay? Apologies you can't be there, but I'll see you all next week. Steve, just on that Greece game, and I know it's nearly 7 years ago, and things have changed a bit, for both teams. But can you take inspiration from that, because it was such an incredible night, really?
Yeah, well, this game's just going to be totally different in terms of the squads and everything. Yeah, but as I said, obviously it's always going to be one of my fondest memories from my career in general. But just looking forward to the game tomorrow night, and it will be a tough game because we've looked at the results and they're very close to a lot of their games and that they've had over the previous year. So it's going to be tough, but certainly with the backing of the fans behind us here and the desire of ourselves, if we can reach our levels, then we'll give ourselves a good chance.
And then just one for Ian as well. It was spoken before about the character of that playoff spot, that the Nation League provides. Is that the big incentive from sort of doing well in this, or you've spoken before about trying to develop squad players or develop the squad by bringing in new players? Yeah,
I think you've only got to look at our neighbours Scotland, and they how they've got through to the Euros, and that was I'm right in saying that was via the playoffs there, and that's something we can't turn a nose up at, for sure. Say finding the right balance to do that, but do you know what? This is what we've been dealt with. So let's go and deal with it. The players out, new ones coming in, and we strive to get top spot in our league and see where that gets us.
Good. Thanks very much, gents.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, everybody.
Do you remember the last time?